Yeah, that's another thing. I'll add to the story in a bit about one of my mates who buys bikes, and he's a bit miffed with all these YouTube influencers that seem to get these bike rides. So we're back in St. Helens, riding back through my old hometown. Oh, a bit tongue twisted there. My old hometown. And I said to you I'd relay a story of my mate, and he buys bikes, loads of bikes. He changes his bike, sometimes can be every year, sometimes less than that, but he buys a large number of bikes, and he was the one that asked me to relay the story to others. And I don't know if other people, other bikers have experienced the same, wherein you get given a bike, you go to a dealership and you fancy buying a bike, and my mate has bought from a dealership here in the northwest. He's bought several bikes from them, and when he tries to get a test ride, an extended test ride, because he is a serious buyer, the dealerships just aren't allowing him to go for any length of time longer than 1 hour. And yeah, he blew his top. He was quite disappointed, and he explained to the dealership, he said, "Listen, mate, I buy a bike from you on a regular basis. You know I'm a serious buyer. I'm keen to change my existing bike. I'm interested in, let's just say, that bike over there. Yet you don't want to give me more than an hour on the bike. You know, I'm not asking for, like days and days or a weekend or a week, whatever, but just a good long ride, test ride, maybe like half an afternoon. We're talking 2, 3, maybe 4 hours." But they just would not entertain the idea. And he pointed out to them quite correctly. He says, dealerships, they will allow these YouTube influencers to take bikes out for extended periods of time, sometimes up to a week. I've seen some YouTube influencers take a bike. It's like Suzuki. They lent a influencer bike, and it was in winter, and they went across somewhere on the continent, and it was icy and whatever, and this person even had an accident out there. Now that to me is just insane. In winter, in the dead of winter with ice, etc., loaning bikes or even test riding bikes in those conditions is a no-no. I understand that we're in winter now, but it's 10 or 11 degrees Celsius today. There's no frost, there's no ice, it's just a bit wet on the road, so I'm taking it easy. But yeah, so these influencers, they can get these bikes for a week if necessary, yet the people that are actually doing the buying of bikes, we're lucky to get an hour, if that. It's like this specific test ride. Okay, I'm thankful that Millennium have allowed me to go on a bike, but it's only for an hour, no longer than that. And there's nobody else test riding this bike today. I think it's just me. So I can't understand. Now, I'm a serious buyer. I've told him already that my bike is up for renewal in May of 2025. Really keen on this bike. Let's have a go. And even myself, I was limited to an hour. Okay, I don't have such a big problem with that, because I was able to very quickly identify that this is not the right bike for me. Whereas my mate Ant, he rides a KTM 890R. So he'd like to go and take in a green trail of sorts, just test it on all sort of conditions. But having an hour is just, it's just not going to be enough. Even this, I started at 11:40. It's already 12:30, and for the first few minutes, I was just getting my kit on, helmet and everything, because you sign the paperwork inside the dealership. So by the time you get outside, already 10-15 minutes have gone. So you don't really have much time to actually become familiar with the bike. I'm just fortunate that you know, I've been quite loyal to the Suzuki brand over the years. You know, I've had the GSX-R 1000. I've even had an old K2 750. I've currently got that GT that I was talking about, and now I'm interested in this GX. So yeah, it would be nice if I was given the keys and they said, right, Paul, just bring it back once you've had enough, or a couple of hours or something like that. But yeah, it's just a bit strange, and I can understand where my mate Ant is coming from. You know, we're the guys doing all the purchasing of bikes. We're the ones keeping these dealerships in business, yet we aren't allowed to, you know, have these extended test rides. And these YouTube influencers, yeah, loads of people watch their channels, whatever, but from watching their channel, you don't suddenly rush out and decide, right, that's it, I'm going to buy a bike. You know, you go and test it yourself, see what you think of it. So yeah, that's one of my mate Ant's gripes, and he did mention, you know, Paul, if you get a chance, just mention on your channel. So there it is, there's your mention, Ant, and yeah, I hope you find your biking bliss, your perfect bike. It will eventually come one day.